This will probably be the last one for soccer, but flag football will continue because soccer is getting ready to start playoffs next week. So we'll talk about that in a minute. So here's some of the things. The quizzes were sent out. I think a lot of you actually took the soccer quiz, which was, thank you, I appreciate that. But for flag football, those will come out tomorrow, and the next one for soccer will also come out. I am working on the schedules for both flag football and soccer. So if your Do Sports Easy is not up to date or you're unable to get into it, I know some of you are just getting on payroll. I will not touch it until Friday morning. So you should be able to get on Do Sports Easy tomorrow. So double check it, and if you can't get on it at noon or 1, check it out at about 4 or 5 tomorrow evening, because that's maybe when you get on. If not, send me your availability and we'll make sure you get scheduled. So flag football schedule is Sunday through Thursday, because we're playing this Sunday, but we're not playing next Sunday. And then soccer is going to be Monday to Thursday, because we're not playing on the weekends with soccer. So, but get your time off in, and we'll take care of that. Here's some of the resources that you be able to use. This is the biggest one right here. Right now, with the hurricane that we've had, we're going to play as much as we can out here. So if it's raining, don't think that we're canceled. Come out here and make sure, or call the weather hotline. Typically, if I'm in the office, I'm going to give you an email and I'll send it out. If you play in any sports teams, we try to send it out through IM leagues, and we try to move those games as quickly as we can. This website I sent out to the flag people. I can also send it out to the soccer. I think I maybe send it out Monday, I'm not sure. But now this is up to date with all of our flag and volleyball material. And then the soccer material had been posted. So you'll be able to check out anything that we do. Right now we're recording these, so you'll be able to see these if you want to go back and review a play or see something, or if you missed something we talked about or missed the first 5 minutes. I do post them because it doesn't cost me any extra to record these and put them online. So we will do that. So we talked about Do Sports Easy. The biggest thing you need to remember is when you first log in, you have to fill out that information. I think your information wasn't, you haven't got a chance to do Sports Easy yet, have you? Make sure you get that done so I can get you on the schedule.
I tried to get it done right before today, so
yeah, so we can check it out. If you have any issues, let me know. And double check your availability. What we've had problems in the past of people's like, I put the availability in, but it didn't go forward. It didn't save it forward. So just double check it every week. I have no problems if you email me on Friday, hey, I have this issue, I will help you out. You email me today at 4 o'clock, say, hey, I can't work at 6 or 6:30, I can't do that. That's going to be on you. Are there any issues or questions with Do Sports Easy? I know flag football, you haven't had much of a chance, but with soccer, are there any questions or issues that you've seen so far that we can address? All right. Here's some of the reminders, working with players. And I know I was out here last week, one of the nights, and we had some of those game after uppers. We had a competitive game. So when I say working with players, this goes both to flag football and for soccer. Be approachable, hear what they have to say, respond appropriately. I call it find a friend on the field. Go up and find out who's the most level-headed and try to speak to them. In flag football, it's usually a quarterback or the safety. In soccer, most of the time it might be a defender, not always the goalkeeper. Because if you've had some of our goalkeepers, you know what I'm talking about. So hear them out, listen to what they have to say. If they're mad because your partner just missed a call and you thought it was a good call, let them know, my partner had a good look at it, it was a great call. Or they're mad because they think you're not calling slide tackling. What are you looking for the slide tackle? Well, they went to the ground. Did you see that they slipped? Well, no, I didn't see that part of it. Well, that's what I saw. So hear them out. And as I said in all the other trainings I've done, if they're coming to talk to you, they may be telling you what the other team is doing that you can look for, or what their team is doing that you can look for. So they may be fouling, they may be giving you where the penalties are going to happen, where you can throw a flag. So you just want to pay attention to them. I use it all the time when I officiate. Watch them holding us up top in basketball. Watch the post play. All right, they're telling me where the play is going to happen, and that's where I focus. So, and then respond appropriately. No matter how much language they use to you, They call you a lot of names in the book. They use a lot of swear words. I get you're in college. But as an official, you don't swear back to them. So don't call them names. Don't swear at them. Use appropriate language and respond appropriately. Giving cards and unsportsmanlike conducts, automatics, profane language, making it personal, attacking you, not your calls. You suck is different than that sucks. And I know we've talked about that. If they're like, you're the worst official out here, maybe true, but they can't tell you that. They come into my office all the time and say, your officials suck. I've been here 7 years. They have been the worst every year. They never get any better. And I'm like, that's false, because we work hard to make sure that you get better throughout the year. But whenever somebody gets ejected, you guys suck. Trust me. They let me know that. That's all right. I'll defend you. Excessive celebrations. I don't know if we've seen much of this yet, but I put this in there especially for flag football, and then sliding in soccer. What's my slide rule for soccer, for the soccer people?
No sliding. Yeah.
No sliding. All right. I get that. No sliding. But what's a yellow card for sliding?
From front, red from the back.
Contact, they got to go from the front. It's a yellow. Without contact from behind, they got to go automatically. And make sure when you do this and you give a sportsmanship rating of a 2, you fill out that form. I can't stress it enough. My supervisors are instructed to give the iPad to you and to fill it out. They're not instructed to give it to the participant and get their side of the story. I don't care about their side of the story. They will get 2 or 3 days to rehearse what they want to come in and tell me. That's fine, because I have your side of the story right away. And give me as much detail as you can. If they slide and make contact, that's fairly easy. If they are chippy, you need to tell me what they said, when they said it, and how often they said it. So if they're running their mouth, it started in the first couple minutes of the game. I don't need exact times. And they just wouldn't let certain calls go. They wouldn't let this call go. After I warned the coach, or after I warned the captains that I was only going to speak to them, they kept going. So I can then talk about it. I have some pretty good stories about some pretty good ejections. I love when I get these stories. If I call you to follow up, please give me more detail, because I write it down. And then I can show them, be like, why did you call my official this? I always spin the tables on them and said, do you work somewhere? And they're like, yeah, I work here. Can I go to your place of business and berate you like you came into my place of business and berated my employee? You see them get about that big at that point in time. You don't deserve that. And I will back you up 100%. So those are just a few of the reminders that we have for that. Here was a big issue this past week. I've got 2 scorecards. I know it's kind of tough to see. I'll shut this door for a second so you can see a little bit better of the colors. This went out today, or Monday, for soccer. The red on both scorecards are things that my staff should fill out in the office. They should have the date, the time, and the field, and the teams that are playing. Both of them. Flag football is a front and back. So if you see these, they should be filled out. The green is what you fill out. So for soccer, you just tally the goals, total at the end, and give them a sportsmanship rating. If you have any cards, you put them down here. Here they were perfect angels. They got beat, but they're perfect angels. We had a slide and arguing calls for 2 yellow cards. Here you should put Y or red, but I just put these down for the numbers. These are important because as soon as you turn them in, our supervisor should be translating them and putting them onto our game sheets. This is important. Not giving them that information makes us say, all right, we don't have any recourse but to give them 4s or 5s. And then have your names down here if they don't have them filled in already. For flag football, it's a little bit different. We do up here, the options, the offense, defense, defer. For some reason, this team picked defense. And I know it's tough to see here, but I've highlighted the points, the tries. You can either circle them or cross them off. It doesn't matter. And then you put each half score. Ran up the score in one half, didn't do anything on the other. They did 2 sportsmanship ratings, spiking the ball, and foul language with an ejection. And they used the timeouts that they used and the officials that were on the game. I give you some good hints here. Here's a mercy rule. Here's a mercy rule. Turn it into at the end of the game to the supervisor. So soccer is one-sided. Flag football is going to be a double-sided. So you got to make sure you do front and back. Are there questions on this?
Isn't there a time limit on mercy rule? Like,
At the 2 minutes for flag, and at 2 and 5 for soccer. So at the 2 minute warning, if you hit this number right here for men's or women, you hit 19 or 25 for co-rec, game's over. So whoever kills the clock, whoever's the back judge kills the clock, they'll let them know that. Typically, one official will keep this, and they'll keep telling people what the score is, what the time is. This one's usually kept by the back judge, and they're announcing the score after every score that we have. Sometimes the referee keeps it, depending who's the referee. Sometimes they keep it. But we should be announcing that every time. Other questions on that? That's a good question. All right, for my soccer people in here. I know there's some flag, but there's some soccer. But we had one soccer quiz. We'll go over that. We'll go over all the quizzes in here. I'm going to try to get Jonathan to send out the answers after every quiz as a reminder. So a co-rec team can play with. Can a co-rec team play with 2 females, 6 males, and a female goalie?
No.
What do we have to do?
They need to get rid of the male and have a male.
They need to get rid of a male because you can only play with 5 of one gender. And that one of those 5 has to be the keeper since they have the 5. And the females, they can play with 3. That's fine, but one of them can't be the goalkeeper right now. And they can go up to 4. So they can play with 9 total, and it's got to be 5 and 4 with the keeper being of the other gender. What is our mercy rule?
10, 55.
Right there. Try to make it as easy as possible. How long is overtime?
3 minutes.
3 minutes. What happens if we go to PKs? How many do we shoot?
5.
5. What if we're in a co-rec game? What's different about a co-rec game?
Alternate genders.
We alternate genders. Does it matter which ones go first? If you have 3 females kicking, I have 2 males or 2 females kicking. Does it matter that we have different genders kicking? No. But what happens if we're still tied in a men's or women's game at 5? What do we go to?
1.
We go to 1. What about in a co-rec game? We bring 5 more people back in. They can pick any 5. So in men's or women's, they got to go from 5 to 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. Co-rec is 5, 5, 5, 5 the whole way. It was because we didn't know if we'd have the same number of gender that would always be there, so we tried to make it as fair as possible that we could. The entire ball must cross the line for a goal to count. True or false? True. It's the same thing for out of bounds. It can touch the line, but if it doesn't go out of bounds, if it doesn't completely cross it, it's still in bounds. What if it crosses in the air and curves back in play? So I kick the ball, put a little curve, doing a goal or doing a corner kick, goes over the goal and comes back in. Huh? You say what?
Good.
You say it's good? Does anybody have anything different? Well, if you're on the line, you can see it. Well, you're supposed to be. If the ball, even in the air, goes out of play and comes back in, it's out of play. So it's got to completely go out, it's out of play. So just remember that. The ball's played back to the goalie from their own team, and they pick it up. What happens? If it played off my foot back to the goalkeeper? Indirect kick from the spot. It's handballed by the goalkeeper. If I head or chest the ball back, I'm fine. But if I play it off my foot, then it's not. The clock stops on all goals under a minute.
false.
False. We don't stop the clock in soccer. So, all right. So we're entering playoffs next week. They'll start Monday. Emotions will be running a little bit higher because people want one of these glorified T-shirts that they think they need to have to run around campus. So as the games get more heated, you need to make sure you match that with your officiating. Not that you get heated at the players, but that you are ready for it. And this goes for flag football. If you're working tonight, it's Greek night tonight. They're going to be ready to play. They're going to be ready to play tonight. Welcome to the first night of... So, we have Greek night tonight. It's similar to playoff. They're going to be ready to play. They're probably going to bring a crowd. It happens. Be ready to match that intensity with the calls that you make. Be confident in your calls. Bigger calls, louder whistles. Same thing in soccer. You don't want to put a weak whistle on a slide tackle. And crisper mechanics. Talk with players when you can, and a 2 sportsmanship rating in the playoffs means they are out. So if you're like, this team is at a 2, you need to make sure a supervisor knows, hey, we're at a point where I think we could end this game because they're at a 2. If we have 2 ejections for two different conduct things, they call you a son of a gun and you toss them, and they look at you and say you're the worst official ever, and then you toss them, ball game's over. They haven't earned the right to go on because they have 2 people ejected. It's going to be similar in flag football when you get to playoffs. So just remember that. If you give out 2 red cards, you got to be thinking, will this game continue? And that decision lies within our supervisors. So hopefully they're out there watching. If they're not, you need to go get them. Or you need to somehow get them out there. But I will tell them they need to be out there. So just remember that. Flag football is underway. Whistles to end all plays, then signal. We talked about this in training. Give the whistle, then give your mechanic. A lot of our people are going like this for a touchdown. It doesn't look good. So if you have the whistle in your hand, like all my soccer officials do, blow the whistle, then give the mechanic. If you're just ending a play, boop, and you're coming up for a flag pull, that's fine. Throw as many penalties as you can if you see them. It's fun. It takes more time off the clock, but hit the spot with them. What do I mean by saga for my flag football officials?
Signal, pass, go, announce.
All right, so walk me through that. You said signal.
So you signal what the penalty was.
Do you say anything while you do it? No, you just signal. So I get this and give the direction. Then I go ask the captain what his or her option is going to be. Then I go mark it off. And then I go flag guarding on the offense. 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul, replay the down. So, and here I put learn from the soups on each shift because you always have a supervisor right now on all your games, typically the referee. I know some of you may have worked referee or line judge last night, but they're the ones that are going to help you out the most. So try to learn as much as you can from them. All right, we've been here for about 20 minutes, so now we're into plays. So I've got some soccer plays, some flag football plays, and hopefully I can make some connections between the 2. But if you're a soccer official, watch the soccer play and try to tell me what you see here. If you're flag, pay attention. I'll try to make sure it's as I can get it as close to each sport as I can. All right, so hopefully this will replay. I'm using an old computer, and it's a little slow today. What do we have here? Do we have anything? Do we have a legal play? Could we possibly have anything?
The goalie kind of slides to stop the ball with the guy. It's not, he doesn't go to the ground, he slides his foot in front of the player.
I also made contact with the player.
Yeah.
So my question is, if you're in this game, are you giving out a card or are you not giving out a card? I have a couple saying no.
Yeah, I'd give you.
Remember, if you give him a card, you give them a PK.
Yeah, but he sticks his foot out in front of the other player's foot. So
There's no way that player was going to get like a good enough shot off that he deserves it.
I mean, it's.
And it wasn't
I don't think whether the player could have made a play on it matters. Whether if you stick your foot out, or if you slide your foot in front of the other.
So what I look at this play is does he slide or go to the ground to compromise the offensive or attacking player? I don't think so. I think he puts his knee out and the offensive player just dribbles into him and doesn't avoid him as well as he could have. I don't give a card on this one. I struggle to give a card on this one. Can I defend a card? Maybe. Can I defend a red? Absolutely not. But if you give a yellow, that's as much as I would give here. But I would probably give this just a play on because he doesn't slide fully down to the ground and try to take the player out. Because we've limited what our goalkeepers can do as far as going to the ground, trying to save balls. So I let this one go. That's a little bit of a tougher play. But just remember the consequence. If you put air in that whistle, you're giving somebody a PK, and you're more than likely giving him at least a yellow. All right, for my flag football peeps, this will replay again. I know it's a jumpy video. Hopefully it replays here in a second. All right, so we have a pass. Is this legal?
Yeah.
It absolutely is. It's a backwards pitch. Our guy does a pretty good job about keeping his arms up to not flag guard. This year with flag guarding, what do you need to do in order to have flag guarding? You have to have contact. So if he does a bunch of spin moves and doesn't make contact, we got nothing. But we did a pretty good job here as far as moving the pucks and announcing. So we're good here. Legal backwards pitch, male to male, so the next play is going to be closed. We get the good spot right here. They say it's rolling. Our field judge gives it up. Good pace by our referee. You hear him announce it?
First down, we are on game.
He does a good job. What happens if this is a first down play? What do we do? Temporarily stop the clock in order to reset the pucks, and that's just coming up. Clock is stopped. Let everybody know it's going to be on the ready for play. So we do a good job officiating this play. The one thing I would have liked to hear was when we had that backwards pitch, somebody yell back and punch it backwards. But other than that, everything else is good here. Yeah.
On that play, even if you end up pitching it, it still would be closed, right? On the next one.
Yeah. So you got to remember, it's the person who catches the ball first. You can do as many backwards pitches as you want. It's male quarterback to a male receiver, and then you can do all kinds of backwards pitches. Make it happen. So it's not who ends up with the ball, it's who initially catches it. So that's a good question. That's a tough one to have. All right, back to soccer. Do we have anything on this play? And then I'm going to ask you to comment on the positioning of the official. So there's nothing really here. All right, so the positioning of my official right here.
Are they lead or trail?
It's a good question. In this instance, they're supposed to be lead going that way or trail coming this way. So that begs that question of where should they be positioned? So this is tough because I think he wore a path from about right here to about right there. He didn't move very far. And what happens if he gets kicked right there? What if the ball hits him right there? Ball's probably not going out of play. It's probably going to stay in play. So what I'd like to see is him be down here. And if that ball does come at him, that's when you can work off that line a little bit. We talk about this in flag football when they're coming at you for a touchdown, you're on the goal line. If they come at you, you back the heck off that line. Because let me tell you what, I've seen somebody get taken out at the knees. Somebody comes running, they get hit like this, and it doesn't end well. I've also seen people have to jump over other people. Back off that line if he comes at you. But if he's here, we don't have to worry about that because he's behind the play, and he can referee it. Because now he's like, all right, I'm watching here, but I know players are here, so if he just moves and make sure he's where he's supposed to be, we'd be in good position. Like I said, for flag football, at least 2 yards off that line if they're coming at you because you can always back up further. So, same thing with soccer. If you just happen to get caught, back up off that line momentarily and then come right back on it so you can get around that play. And it's a good thing just to let that play go beyond you and work backwards. Yeah, if he gets kicked right there, he's in trouble. All right, back to my flag football, people. Can the defense have a false start? What's it called on the defense? Encroachment. He jumps. If you see this right here, he jumps. Now it's snapped. It's close. And then this play is about 4 years old because you can see these are our old rec fields. So this is about 4 years old. Our line judge deems that, hey, it's an encroachment penalty. I'd like to see that flag go a lot higher. He's just like, watch this flag, right? Oop. Let's see if I can get this. That's about all higher the flag goes. And it's a little bit of have a good flag and have an even better whistle. Even for soccer, your whistles can be better. We talked about this in our whistle blowing and mechanics station. Put a lot of air in that whistle. That's a Fox 40. That thing's going to get a lot of air and a lot of sound come out of it. That's how you get their attention. The crisper the whistle, the sharper the whistle, the more they're going to believe you. You don't believe me? Go out there and call your first good foul and go, woo, and then call a marginal one with really good whistles. They're less likely to question you. So you have good whistle, good strong whistles, it makes it more believable. The right call, but as you can see, it was like he jumped and then the snap happened right after that, and it's like so close. So make sure you have that. And I'm on the mic that night, and that's what I saw too. So one more quick time on this. And as you can see, he didn't even go, he jumped and then he went back. So that's close. All right, back to my soccer folks. What I want to show here is the positioning of the official. He's a former supervisor of ours. He graduated, but so he knows the rules. So what he does here is, other than slowly sauntering down here, which is fine, there wasn't much of a play, but he puts himself right here so he can roll if that's a goal or not on a corner kick. If he's up here, you can't really rule in this because you can't tell if that ball completely crossed. So being in that right position is what you want to be. So don't be afraid to get there and then have to run all the way back. Those are two fine. That's a good position to be in. All right, flag football officials, tell me what you got here.
I can't tell where those
40 inches. I can't even see the
So, is what this guy does legal?
Nah. Oh yeah, those scissors. No, his elbows are outside. Where his elbows at? He didn't make contact.
So, you gotta think here. Watch this right here. Legal?
Okay. Oh, with the ball.
Aha, the ball. So, all this guy does is just reshift, right? He sits here and resets himself. That's fine. Nothing there. It's the center who gives the ball a little bit of a... Because what happens if we don't call that and somebody jumps off sides? We don't call then we call the encroachment versus the illegal snap. So our quarterback, or our referee here, he was with us for a couple years. He was pretty good for us. So he sees it, he calls it. This needs to be also called by the line judge, who I think is on this side right here. So they need to see that. And if they don't know what they did wrong, explain it to them briefly. All right, soccer. All right, got the handball, there's no question. What do we do in this situation? How do we handle this?
You wait for the person to ask for 10.
He knows it's a handball. No question. He's like, oh, you got me. So if he asks for 10 yards, now what do we do? You give him the 10 yards. How do you officiate this play?
On your whistle.
On your whistle, which I think is what Mr. Twigger does in this case. He knew it. He's like, ah, crap. They typically know that if they foul, nothing illegal here. Ask for the 10 yards. Now, we give them the 10 yards and they start moving in before it's kicked. He needs bigger steps than this. Mr. Twigger's 5'10", 6 foot. I can guarantee you that's not 10 yards. This is not indirect, so we don't need to put our hand up. So if we do have this, that's fine. Back him up, make sure you give him at least 10 yards. And I say a yard is not normal stride. That's not a yard. A yard is a pretty big step. And for flag football, you've got lines out there to help you out. Here you should know if you're doing soccer, from here to the goal line's 3 yards. 3, that's 10, there's 7 yards. From here to here's 4 yards. From here to here's 10 yards. Use what's on the field to help you out. So if he moves forward, we have to hit him with a yellow card because they're delaying the game. The first one you maybe get away with, put it back in play. Second one, you've got to hit him with a yellow card. All right, here's my last flag play before we almost wrap it up for the day.
He wasn't set. He was still running towards the line.
Who was still running towards the line?
Number 2 was still running towards the line. He wasn't set.
You talk.
Yeah, the defense can do that. They're run towards the line.
The defense, you can do whatever you want. So, we're good over here. These guys shift, they're fine. We got a little bit of contact right here, but that's pretty good defensive and offensive rushing to where behind your back, you're working with them. There's some contact, there will be some contact in this game.
Yeah, I mean, he's kind of falling off just right there.
But he doesn't try to swim him.
Falling off.
All right, now watch the end of this play. So we have this, we snap it, we're good, we're legal. Did he flag guard, or did she just blow an inadvertent whistle? And I wish I had this a little bit. I didn't extend the play a little bit longer when I clipped it. So if you watch this, and I'm trying to get it to where I'm not much there. What she does is she blows her whistle, and the flags don't fall off. So we have an inadvertent whistle. It can happen in soccer, trust me. I've seen it. You may not think so, but it has happened. If it does happen in soccer, what are your options? Put your whistle in your pocket, act like you didn't blow your whistle, be like, I don't have a whistle on me.
Just whoever had the ball should do a free kick.
If somebody's in control, we put a free kick right there. If nobody's in control of it, you got to do a drop ball, wherever you blew your whistle. In flag football, what are their options in this play?
Restart the down.
You can replay the down, or take it where the whistle happened. This happened in practice game. Somebody come up and went, boop, boop, and somebody kept running. I was like, ooh. It's as simple as if it's a pass play and the ball's in the air when the whistle's blown, they got to replay the down. If it's a run play like this one is and the whistle is blown, they have no other option but they have 2 options. They can either replay the down or they can take the result of the play. Which here I think they get a first down, so they would take that. The thing about your whistles is keep it in your hand, or if you have it around your neck, keep it right here. So if you do it, you can take this second to get ready to blow the whistle or not. This gives you a chance to let your mind digest what your eyes just saw. So it gives you like, nope. I've done it before where somebody comes in and I'm like, boo, shoot. They still have their flags on. I've done it in basketball. Kid goes up, gets the ball knocked out, catches it and lands. And I was like, boop. That's not travel. Hey, just take it out of bounds. It happens to the best of us. If an official says they've never had an inadvertent whistle, A, they probably haven't been calling very long, and B, they're probably lying to you. I tell you, I've had at least 2, if not more, in my time as an official. So if you do it, just know how you're going to do it and own up to it. Don't be like, sure, I didn't do anything. If you blow an inadvertent whistle, kill the play and put it where it needs to be. Questions? That's 35 minutes or 36 minutes worth of stuff. And I got some giveaways to do here. Any questions? I will say, since this is probably the last time for the soccer officials that you'll be here, this meeting's probably going to be just flag football, is we will be doing sports officials training in the spring for basketball, flag football, indoor soccer. So if you're interested in that, that'll probably be right before spring break. We'll start that right after spring break, and then softball. So if you're interested in any of those sports, you're still on our payroll as long as you don't screw up really, really bad in the next 2 weeks and have to come talk to me and get fired. We have stuff in the spring that you can't officiate. Be on the lookout. We're going to reevaluate how many supervisors we have going into the spring. We may be looking to hire supervisors. If you are considering staying on with us another year, we do hire in the spring for fall supervisors. So keep that in the back of your mind that we do have that option out there, and we will hire every spring for fall supervisors. It's just this one we have a lot of people graduating in December, so we want to make sure that we have enough come in the fall or come in the spring. Questions? All right.